everybody, your old pal Ryan here, hanging out at Alley Works Studios on Saturday, as per usual. So today we're talking about the new single, Girl is Stone, which you can go check out everywhere on the streaming services. And it kicks off side 2 of my new album, Zigzag, which the CDs are here. I'm still waiting on the vinyl. I've been pushed back on that vinyl for a week or two, so apologies. I know we've got a bunch of orders in. So I am waiting just like you are. I can't wait to see those vinyl records come in. So yeah, that's nothing. It's on their end. It's not on my end. So at least they owned up to that. Anyway, so Girl is Stone. So I kind of just messed around with some of the ideas that I used to do in Crash Street Kids, and this is where the song came about. And one of the things that happens later in the song, if you've heard it, is that it kind of goes into like this Latin flavor, like a Santana flavor. So that's why I have like an album like this out here, because I was listening to a lot of Santana at that time. This is Caravanserai, where he went into like the fusion stuff. So that would explain the ending of the song with the ripper guitar solo and the timbales and the congas. But it's very much about New York. It was also based on my family going to New York and walking through the streets. And so I created this imaginary world in which this guy sees this girl who is walking down the street, who is very busy and ignoring him, and he creates a fantasy in his mind. So that's the lyrical content. So that's that. Let's talk about the chord structure here. That's what we're doing. We're trying to play it on the guitar. This is the guitar I used for the rhythm tracks. This is of course, the Les Paul. There's a Strat in there as well, but most of it is the Les Paul. So song is just key of D. When I play my D, my brother and I both play the D the same way, which is very odd. Like, I don't even hit that. Most of the time, I don't even hit that. I don't even hit that note. Because I want to get that open A. It's like very, like Pete Townsend, like the Who, man. Just, you just hear the growl of that. And anyway, so I'm going to get off of that chord and just throw my pinky down on this C sharp. So I'm kind of doing a leading tone thing. This is what you would refer to as like, I guess, just a leading tone. So it's a D over C sharp. So obviously that needs to go somewhere. You can't just make a song of just that chord. That sounds gross. So I'm just pulling you there. That's what a leading tone does. It pulls you somewhere. Gross. And then we're going to go to the G chord. That's the 4 chord. So that's a nice place to land on that. And then a 5 chord. A. So G to A. Yeah, so that very simple. It's simple, kind of. I mean, it's really just a 3-chord song, but that's got that nice little leading tone in between, and that's what I like about it. And so let's move on to the "Why Don't We Go for a Drink" part, which is the "Why don't we go for a drink? Right. I don't know if you heard that ding. That's Jay Hillfrank and Greg Myers. Man. Hi, Quincy friends. You're interrupting my live video. So this part is a very tried and true chord sequence that I use, although I only in the first 2 bars. The second 2 bars, because I've used it so much, I didn't follow it through like I normally do, so I had to switch it up. So what I've done here is I played a B minor chord, and then I've done the old minor major 7 trick. Now, this is like what Stairway to Heaven does. So I'll play it in B minor just for example. So B minor chord, 7th position, and then it goes. Right. So all I'm doing is I'm taking the B, this is a B, of the B minor chord, and going, let's take it down 1 to A sharp or B flat. And that's again a leading tone. So we've got leading tones in both of the sections of this song. So I'm playing it here in the second position, a B minor chord here, but I just want to hear the sort of like R&B, like skanky kind of stuff, you know. I don't need that. I don't need the bass in there. The bass, I have a bass guitar, it's going to do it. So I'm just going to lay off. So I've dropped the like that. And then the next one, this is where I switch it up. I just go to an F sharp. It's really an F sharp major, which is the 5 chord in the key of B minor. So it kind of makes sense, I suppose. But I'm just, again, just trying to mix it up. So I didn't want to do like the same old, because the other thing would, the original thing would suggest that we just keep going down. So like we'd go, which is a common, that's what Stairway to Heaven does. I'm playing in a different key because I'm matching my key. But yeah, that's what it does. But I just like switched it up. I abandoned the idea and just went from the B minor, major minor 7, then just a straight up F sharp. And then an E minor, because I really want to hint back to the original key, because that's where we're heading. I'm always trying to lead you there, and that's like songwriting. A good trick in songwriting is to always lead the listener somewhere. I'm always using leading tones. I'm like, come on, I'm going to take you with me, you know, kind of deal. So so that's the basic gist of it. So why don't we go for a break? Your thoughts in this way, we can drive some more train on the street. Yeah, so that's how that goes. And then it has that little bridge, which is really cool. So there's some neat things that are happening here in the bridge. And first of all, I just kind of landed on this stupid chord. It's a G add 9, and it's just like kind of one of those things that guitar players do sometimes, where they just put their fingers on the on the fretboard, and you get this cool chord. So that's what I did, and I was like, you know what? Let's just go with that, because it's something interesting, you know. So it's a G add 9 would be the actual chord. If I'm playing a G chord, but I put my middle finger on the A, which leaves me like this. I feel like I'm flipping you off, but that's what that is. There's no third in that chord, so it's not really identifiable. It's like this weird sort of eunuch of a chord. And so that's the Fall Under the Ice bit of the song. And then I just take that same chord and just move it up 2 frets. And now I've got basically an A add 9. But you can't help but hit the D, so you know, whatever. A add 9, 11? Okay, whatever. But the 2, and I'm singing an F sharp over it, so I got a 9 when I sing a 9 on it. So interesting. You could say it's D over G, but so that's kind of a funky part. That's why I love writing and having all the time in the world to just sort of put all this stuff together and make it work. Because that was just sort of like me goofing off. And I'm like, I bet I can make it work if I really, really worked on it and did it. So there's an overdub of a guitar. It's the Strat. So I'll play it on the Les Paul today, but it's a Strat. So what the Strat is doing over that section where it's the Fall Under the Ice part, is just it's an arpeggio, and this chord is sort of it's unidentifiable really. So I had to pick some interesting notes to play, And not only that, but I put an effect on it called a univibe. And the univibe is very, let me go to a clean sound here because this is a clean part. So here's what's up. That's all the part is, and you know, less is more. If you've those that have worked with me, my nickname is Less is More. You know, I always want less of things because it leaves a lot of space in your record. So all this is doing is an arpeggio that's following that G, the G add 9. I'm actually adding the third finally if you want to get into the weeds, but and then I moved it up 2 frets, and that's just an A major arpeggio. So that it's a very, it gets very complex at that point. That sounded good to my ear, so I just added those nice little fall under the eyes, you know, that bit. Woo! Yeah, and the effect is a univibe pedal that I mentioned a second ago. That is definitely one of my favorite effects in my arsenal of various effects. It's a modulation effect. It's very swirly and chorusy. And those that know me, you know I'm a huge Robin Trower fan, and Robin Trower made a living off of that, where he's like, so yeah, that's why I have one of those. It started with Jimi Hendrix. If you watch him play I guess it's the Star Spangled Banner at Woodstock, he used one. So yeah, Univibe. Any pedal, there's a number of manufacturers that have a Univibe clone. It's just called a Vibe. If you see the word Vibe, buy it. Or Rotovibe, yeah, that's a good one. That was in the 80s. Okay, I'm going to sign off here. Thank you guys so much for watching my little Saturday videos here. Do check out the Girl of Stone single wherever, but please visit my Bandcamp page. We are still in pre-order mode. Let's get them going. I just mailed off a bunch of CDs this weekend, so people are going to start getting them. So you better reserve your copy. Vinyl is on the way. Reserve your copy because all of this is very limited supply. Okay, so all right, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time on this great fun channel called Ryan McKay Music. Goodbye.